Okay, Geometry AB, here we go. We're going to finish up 11.4. Not too much left to do. The next formula we have right here is the formula for volume of a cylinder. And this formula right here, again, doesn't look much like the one we were just dealing with, but it's actually the exact same formula. Let me take a second and just move all this down for a moment here. The formula we were dealing with earlier was the formula for volume of a prism, which was capital B, which stood for area of the base, multiplied by the height. Well, in a cylinder, if you guys recall, it basically is the same thing as a prism, except that instead of having a polygon for a base, a cylinder has a circle for a base. But the concept here is exactly the same. So when we use the area of the base in a prism, now that base is a circle in every single cylinder that we're ever going to see. And sure enough, the formula for area of that circular base right here, if we recall, is pi times our radius squared. And that went right in here, everybody, representing the capital B, where it was just a second ago in front, multiplied by the height at the end. So the formula for volume of a cylinder is really conceptually identical to the formula for volume of a prism. It's just that we can actually be more specific here within the cylinder, and the base of every cylinder is a circle, so we can use the circle area formula, pi r squared, in the place of that capital B. Okay, so here's our formula though. Volume of a cylinder is pi r squared multiplied by h. And we're just going to do one example here and then be done here, guys. So formula for volume of a cylinder: pi times your radius squared multiplied by your height. But of course I had to try to make this one a little bit difficult for you guys, so let's see what we can do. The first thing we need here is the radius, and sure enough we don't have it. Now the radius goes from the center of a circle to any point located on the circle. What I have given you right here, guys, that 24 millimeter measurement, is the length of this entire piece right here. That's your diameter of the circular base, and the radius is always half of that. So we know that this radius here is going to have a length of 12. So going back to step 2 on my formula, we've got pi times a radius now of 12 millimeters, which is going to get squared, and we need to multiply that by height. Now, if you're not paying much attention, people are going to look at this and think that 24 millimeters is the height because it's measuring this thing vertically. That's the wrong way to look at it. The definition of height, if you recall, in a three-dimensional solid, is the distance between the bases. And if our bases are on the left and the right of this figure, then the height is the horizontal distance in between them. This is going to be your height there. And to find that, this 51 that I gave you is something weird. This is called the diagonal of a cylinder, not something you see very often right here. But if we were to draw this diameter back in here over on the side and then take a look at the height here, well, we've just formed ourselves a right triangle. Okay, we know that this piece over here has a length of 24 millimeters. That's another diameter right there. And we've got to try to come up with h. So once again here, everybody, we have ourselves, let me switch colors on you here, we have ourselves a right triangle. H is one of your legs, 24 is the other leg, and 51 is the length of the hypotenuse right there. So if you were to go to your calculator and do the Pythagorean theorem on that, it would look something like h squared plus 24 squared is equal to a 51 squared. I am pretty sure, let's see, you divide out a 3, that's an 8, 15, 17. You're going to end up with h equaling 45 millimeters there for the height of this figure. So 45 millimeters is going to go right there for the height. And now we know everything that we need, so let's go ahead and type this one in here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply the, let's see, we've got a 12 that's going to get squared. Let's not forget that. The 12 squared, and we're going to multiply that by the 45 that we came up with for the height there, and that's going to get us a really big number of 6,480. The pi just tags along for the ride, and what we did right here, guys, is we took millimeters and squared them to get square millimeters, times millimeters there for the height is going to get us cubic millimeters for that unit overall. So the volume of that cylinder, everybody, 6,480 pi cubic millimeters. Okay, everybody, that's a wrap on section 11.4, so let's give that homework a try and see how we do.